I think hurricane season for East Coast surfers is what they look forward to all year.
The ones that kind of come very close to the coastline, you know, right after those things pass by are some of the most epic days you've ever seen. When we were tracking Sandy, right away, the early models showed this storm just basically plowing into our coast.
This morning, our phone declared a state of emergency in anticipation of Hurricane Sandy.
This one was another animal. Even though it was only a Category 1, we knew it was going to be a bad one.
It's a full moon, there's a high tide, it's all these factors, and then the nor'easter that held it there.
Once the nightfall came, that's when things started really turning up.
So it's difficult to categorize this storm as anything other than a superstorm. It's a hurricane and then some.
Coming around the corner, oh boy. Not good.
It showed its face. It showed him how powerful it was, and it really, it's a humbling thing, you know.
I don't think anyone could predict what happened here. The ocean met the sound, and it was the most alive I've ever seen Mother Nature.
Being a surfer, I know what exactly could happen with the ocean when it wants to flex its muscles, and this is what happened.
The crazy thing about Sandy is the scope and scale of the devastation. I mean, it's about 220 miles of destruction. Over here was a high surge, so it flooded everything. Over here was really bad wind, so you're dealing with all these different needs. And then there's the after effects where you've got all this damage and health concerns. When people are doing all this demo and there's asbestos and then the mold factor. I mean, it's as bad as it gets.
On Long Beach Island, the hardest hit areas were where the ocean actually breached the dunes and where it came up and just basically took the dunes with it, just took the beach into a neighborhood. You know, to come back to those areas is like, where do you even start when everything is under 4 feet of sand?
Gas mains are ruptured, there's no power, cars piled on top of each other.
You almost didn't even recognize my hometown, you know? It's like so surreal that this really did happen.
The destruction hit the way that it did. It's a sobering moment. And I think most people, surfer or not, are still in shock right now.
Definitely broke down emotionally, you know, like it's just heavy to see everything, like this whole town just in shambles, you know. It was, you know, it's no good.
You just see this certain sense of disbelief. You know, it's post-traumatic stress. Like, they went through a heavy event, they lost their entire home, they lost their business.
When we finally got in the next couple days later, when they let the first business owners in and got to assess the damage, when I walked through, I didn't recognize the place. It was like a whirlwind came through here and gutted it. This has been my livelihood for most of my life. Now it's like it's turned your life upside down, and you got to figure out, you know, how you're going to keep going.
It's very sad. They all have to start from scratch, and it's an unfortunate situation. And you know, it's going to be weeks, months, whatever, before anything's even remotely close to normal.
A lot of people, you know, don't have anything, and they need help. But on the brighter side, I can't even begin to say how many people are being helped. I mean, the amount of food and clothing and support has been incredible.
Seeing the Army and FEMA and all these people coming down trying to help and giving water and trying to keep everybody alive.
When you see something like this happen, you see everybody coming together like this, it's huge. I mean, it makes you feel good, like, wow, you know, humans aren't that bad, right, almost?
Where do you even begin to rebuild? Like, I was looking at my house, like, looking at everything that I own. I was like, in just pieces everywhere. And I'm like, what do I just pick up this book off the floor and bring this one to the curb and start there? Like, it was tough to like know where to start.
I came up here with my Sprinter van full of all kinds of canned goods and donations from Quicksilver, just to reach out on kind of on a local level, just try to get needed goods to people that need them, that have been displaced from Hurricane Sandy.
It will come back. It may take a while, but it will come back. It's so important to people in Sandy Hook, Seabright, Highland, not only to the people that live there, but to the people that travel here.
Now that the ball's been rolling, it's a snowball effect. People are helping people and volunteers are coming, the surf community's rallying, and everything's kind of rolling in the right direction, you know?
The main reason I got Waves for Water behind this whole thing is because, I mean, a lot of it's just osmosis and being there. And I might be working on the water stuff, but other days I'd go out with medical teams, or I'd go out with rubble removal or the rebuilds. That's what we're here to do, is a full-fledged relief initiative is what I'm calling it, but it's basically all stages of recovery and all stages of relief. I want to see it through all the way.
You know, surf community is amazing. I mean, I haven't seen the tennis community or the golf community or any other community showing up with hundreds of volunteers, you know? I just never seen, you know, where's everyone else?
Surfers are going to be a real part in rebuilding after this, you know, after this devastation.
In order to give back to the community, our brand had discussions about doing a relief t-shirt. Our initiative was to get it online right away, and the next thing you know, our website was crashing because we had so many people ordering it. Basically, all the funds are going as direct as possible to the people who need the aid, from shelters to individuals and families, and the firehouses and the EMTs who are risking their lives to keep everyone safe.
We've done the best that we can at this point, and you know, there's still a lot of work to be done for sure. To all surfers out there, let's pull together, and you know, if you got, give.
We're going to rebuild. I mean, this town is built on strength, and it's built on heart. And you know, if everyone steps it up, we can rebuild this community a lot faster.
I think everything's going to just eventually go back to the same, because you know, everyone who lives on the beach loves the beach, and they're here for a reason. This was a bad break and a very rare event, and we'll just stick it out, help each other do what we got to do, and stay here and keep going. You can't just tuck your tail and run.
Now that Hurricane Sandy is long gone, lights came on for the first time since Monday.
Raising relief for Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy taught me that hurricanes aren't about surfing. It sucks to say that, because like that's all they were to me my whole life.
Surfing without the destruction, you know, that's what you want. You want the waves, but you don't want the direct hit. It's a love-hate kind of scenario.
So you're never really going to think of hurricanes the same again, but at the same time, when it is firing out here, we're going to be on it.
In the last bunch of years, the weather patterns have changed. There's no doubt. You know, what was always consistent and a certain way was now not as good. You know, maybe the winds were bad. Maybe you get good surf, maybe you don't. Whether you believe in global warming or not, it's a fact. Things have changed.
We're going to remember this as things that happened before Sandy and after Sandy, simply because so many breaks are going to be so different. And so many landmarks that were at those breaks are gone now. And it's also a personal mark because so many people's lives were affected by it. And life is just going to be different.
I think the East Coast has to embrace the fact that this is a normal occurrence. I think it's a new norm for us in our lifetime.
I think the community is very much together. There's been a huge amount of support. Volunteers coming from all over. But as far as the town goes, it'll be back. It's going to take time.
There's a huge opportunity here to rewrite the stereotype of surfers. Probably the most cutting-edge people in their town, and they don't get taken very seriously. If we can come together and make some big moves, who knows what that'll do for surfers around the world.